magic word for tonight?
Malia told me to forget.
Elsa?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what you're doing for that one.
Yep. Yeah.
Does Ed have a game tonight?
What?
Does Ed have a game tonight?
I don't know. Does he do Friday night games? He usually doesn't.
I don't know. It's raining also.
Yeah.
I do not know. You need me to do anything during this Uber feeding?
I gotta. Yeah.
How you doing?
Amanda, how you doing? Good. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we're going to begin on page number 10 as people trickle in. Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. We're on page number 10. Av HaRachaman, Yedi Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Meshokabtecha El Ritzonecha, Meshokabtecha Yananai El Ritzonecha. Yedi Nefesh, Yedi Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Yedi Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Meshokabtecha El Ritzonecha, Meshokabtecha Yananai El Ritzonecha. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So before we begin our service, just a few logistical announcements. And I know we've got a number of guests here, as later we're going to welcome Bridget and Adam up to the Bima, and we're going to give them a special blessing in honor of their upcoming wedding in only a few short weeks. So if you're new to the congregation, I want to get you situated. Our prayer books are available as you walk in. Leanne Bass, who's a member of our Board of Trustees, is passing them out. And if you need anything, you can always ask her. Large print prayer books are available on the right as you walk out the door. They're also on the right in the office, hearing assisted devices should you need them. Bathrooms are outside to the right, though all gender and handicap accessible bathrooms are through the office toward the back. If for some reason we need an emergency exit, of course there's the exit you came in, but notice there's an exit here as well as an exit if you walk through the door toward the back as well. And finally, if you feel lost at any point during the service, don't be shy about turning to someone near you, asking where you are on the page or in the prayer book. That way we can all direct each other and make sure we're all on the same page, both literally and figuratively. So in my house, in the words of Elsa in Frozen, "Let It Go" has been playing all the time. And in fact, I actually think that Elsa's wisdom, in a way, is the perfect message for Shabbat itself. You're supposed to take all of those worries, all of those fears, everything that's sitting on your shoulder, and just leave it at the door. And for an hour together to be present with yourself, with God, with your community. Your worries will be there waiting for you at the door when you leave. So if you notice yourself getting wrapped up in the everyday and the things that are raising your blood pressure, that are making you nervous, try to do that. Try to let them go and try to be as present as possible in this moment. That's what Shabbat is. It's a way to center yourself so that you have more resolve and you are more ready when you go back into this messy world that we all live in. And so we're going to welcome Shabbat formally now as we prepare to light our candles. And tomorrow, Evan is going to be becoming bar mitzvah. And so in honor of that, I'm going to call up his parents as well as his sister to come up as they lead us in first the lighting of our candles and then in Kiddush.
reading this. Ready, guys? As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
It's a weird match. That's all you could say. Maybe it's a whole box of weird matches.
Maybe the weird matches.
No. Good.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech borei pari hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, b'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techilah lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. Chaim. So the time between Pesach and Shavuot is what we actually mark Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer, the days between the second Seder until we get 7 weeks, 7 days, etc. And so there's a beautiful melody that was written by a trio of Fate, Fredman, and Goldman that at least we kind of love. And it goes along with those words. Shall Asar, Yom Shehem Shnei, Shavuot ve'arba'a Yamim la'omer. Today is 18 days, which is 2 weeks and 4 days of the Omer.
We're on page 20. Lechadoti likrat kala, yananai, 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 vene Shabbat. Kabelai, yaira, ira, lechadoti likrat kala, yananai, 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 vene Shabbat. Shamor vezachor v'dibor echad Yishmiyanu Elam yuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad V'shemo tiferet v'litchil. Let's hear you. Lechad dodi likrat kala yananai, yananai, yananai v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, yaira, ira, lechad dodi likrat kala yananai, yananai, yananai v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha Shabbat lila, lechad dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, yaira, ira, lechad dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orek, umi uri, 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 shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alai, milai, lechad dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, yaira, ira, lechad dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai. Verse 9. Shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha, ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי קלה בואי קלה לחד דודי לקראת קלה יננאי 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, yaira, ira, lechad dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 v'nei Shabbat. Nikabelai, yainai, yanai, yananai, yainanai, nainai, yainai, yananai, nainai, nainai, yainai. We remain standing, page 28. Nine, nine, Adonai hamivorach leolam ha'ed. We're seated together. We're on the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, from whom the evening flows. Baruch ata Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We're on page 32. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha mitzvot ukimu mishpatim otanu limadeta al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokmeinu v'kumeinu nasiach v'chukecha v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Kihem chayenu v'orech yameinu v'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla yomam v'layla.
Yavatecha al tasir Mimenu leolamim, Baruch ata Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 And in a whisper, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha b'derech, u'shokbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We're on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there's a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Page 42.
You'll find the words up on the screen.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. The indented portion on the bottom. Ushmo Seitenu, Uroenu, L'chaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Sometimes I lay under the moon, and I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds me, I know someday Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. So in a moment, we're going to move into our silent Amidah, starting on page 46 through page 62. And you can pray really whatever is in your heart or on the page as together we rise.
Adonai sefatayv tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha.
Adonai sefatai titach ufi agitehilatecha. Ose shalom b'mamav. We're on page 62. Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yase shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom b'mromav, u'yase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. So as we do each week, we add a special prayer for the state of Israel. And in it, we read a custom prayer written by soon-to-be Rabbi Hannah Ellenson that speaks to all of the different facets and the many different spokes of what makes this conflict so hard and so complicated. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we ask that you bless the state of Israel and all of Israel's inhabitants. Makor Chaim, source of life, bless and strengthen those who defend the land and ensure their safe and speedy return. Protect them and guide them. Kadosh Baruch Hu, holy and blessed one, show Israel's leaders your paths so they may act with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and that they may be unwavering in their pursuit of peace. Strengthen their hearts, but keep their hearts from hardening. Adonai Poked, God who remembers, there are more than 100 people currently being held in Gaza who are thought to be alive, including Oded Lipschutz, 83, Guy Gilboa Dalal, 22, Eviatar David, 23, Nama Levi, 19, Bipin Joshi, 23, Eden Alexander, 19, Nathan Pong Pintha, 35, Shiri Bibas, 32, Yarden Bibas, 34, and their sons Ariel, 4, and Kafir, 1. Matira Surim, freer of captives, return all those who are kidnapped safe and sound to their homes, without the spilling of more innocent blood, without any more souls being tarnished by horrific acts. Ba'al HaRachamim, master of compassion, help us to hold the humanity and the heartache of the Jewish people, of all the residents of the state of Israel, while also holding the humanity and the dignity of the Palestinian people. As we are made in your image, remind us of your ways. Spread over us a shelter of your peace and fulfill the vision of your prophets. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. They shall never again know war.
As our hearts are still so wide open to bring all of those people named here and all of those not named, there's space for us in there. We turn to page 253 as we offer a Misha Berak for those in need of healing of body, mind, and spirit. And I'll ask you in a few moments to add some names if you'd like to, and then we'll see a list also on the screen. I think it will be on time on the screen this time. Misha Berak avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestor Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Let us say amen. Please join us.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say amen. Spirit, and let us I was just saying a couple days ago that we have, for the first time in recent memory, the trifecta of life cycles happening in services over the next 2 days. We have tomorrow, of course, Evan becoming bar mitzvah, and we're going to be naming a new baby also as part of services. And tonight, we have a wedding couple that we are going to bless. And these are the trifecta of the joyous things that the Jewish community can do to celebrate a baby, a bar mitzvah, and a soon-to-be newlywed couple. And so in honor of that, I'm going to call Adam or Bridget up, and I'm going to invite all of us to rise. So it's fitting that in addition to having your wedding, which many people just have that piece, you decided that it was important for you to come on Friday night and for the two of you to get this blessing in front of this community. I know how important the community is, but you may not know just how important you are to this community. You know, the fact that, Bridget, as you were working on your conversion, the two of you showed up week after week after week and became embedded in the fabric of who we are. And then you came to Casual Minyan and you read Torah and became bat mitzvah and had this moment. And Adam, you were right by her side, and now you are an integral part of our teaching staff on Wednesdays and really have impacted the lives of these sixth graders, even if they don't want to let you know it. And I admire the two of you for what it means to just jump into a community, right? To see you, for example, singing in our choir. I mean, it's a pretty incredible thing. And you, as a couple, are a pretty incredible couple. So as I've gotten to know you, not just as individuals, but we've sit in my office and we've talked and I've learned about your relationship, there's a lot to admire. You have amazing communication, it's true devotion, and it's just clear from every interaction you have, even from your body language, just how much you love one another. That's a hard thing to find in this world. This world has just so many people in it. And so to find someone that you truly feel this connection with, that you fit together in the way that the two of you do, that you love and respect one another in the way that the two of you do, it really is a miraculous feat. We often think about the fact that any individual who's alive, it's miraculous, that, you know, that the right parents met, the right genetics made one another. But then when the two people can meet one another as individuals and have this stronger, united light like you do, there's something even more magnified about that. And so in honor of that, I offer you this blessing. Misha berach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah. Hu yivarech et hechatan vehakala v'yatzliach b'darkam asher yalchu ba mahayom v'hala. May the God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless the two of you and guide you on your life's journey. May your marriage be one of joy and a good example to all who know you. May you fashion a home worthy of praise, a secure refuge where you will find tranquility during all the days of your life. And may the love that you share inspire and bless your family, your friends, and this whole community. As together we say, Amen. And now I offer you these words which I will also offer you underneath the chuppah. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. May God cause God's face to shine upon you and give you grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always smile upon you, granting you a life of wholeness and peace. As together we say, Amen. And let's celebrate them a little bit. Siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tov, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tov. Yeh lanu, I can't hear you. Yeh lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yeh lanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yeh lanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. We can all be seated. So Shabbat Shalom. So I want to take us forward in the Torah about, probably at least a few decades from where we are sitting right now in our Torah portion, right? Our Torah portion, which is the book of Leviticus, the Jews have recently left Egypt, and standing at Sinai, they get this set of laws. And in this week's portion, we get what is, I would say, the kind of Cliff Notes best of version of what it means to have Jewish ethics, right? God tells us to be holy and then tells us all the things that we love to quote. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. Rebuke someone if they're doing the wrong thing. Set the corners of your field apart for those who are poor. Revere your parents. All of that appears in what is known as the Holiness Code, which is Leviticus chapter 19. But I want to pause from here and go forward into the story, because in the book of Numbers, you're going to find that there's a rebellion that takes place. Moses has been leading the people for a while at this point. And there's a man whose name is Korach, who gets really angry and upset. And he says, look, I don't want Moses leading me anymore. I don't want Aaron being the priest anymore. Moses and Aaron, enough. You've had this leadership for too long. All of us are holy. All of us have access to God. Therefore, you should elect me as your leader, and I will honor that better. And this rebellion, by the way, it's called the rebellion of Korach, becomes this kind of emblematic moment. Moses ends up falling on his face and asking God for help, and he ends up setting up this kind of test where he puts up these fire pans, and he basically says to God, you got to send some fire down, and whichever fire pan ends up lighting, that's going to be the one that we know God is listening to. And eventually, by the way, Moses' fire pan lights, the fire leaps out and consumes a whole bunch of people to show that he's right. The earth opens up and swallows Korach and his children whole. And that's how the story ends. But I bring this up because Korach's critique is a really interesting one in light of this week's Torah portion. Because in this week's Torah portion, we are taught that God tells the people, Kiddoshim Tihiyu, you shall be holy, i.e., all of you are holy. All of you matter, all of you can do good in the world, all of you can revere your parents, all of you cannot stand idly by the blood of your neighbor, all of you have the potential to respect and to love your neighbor. And so we have to ultimately ask the question, why is it that Korach's critique actually is bad? When in our portion itself, there's a kind of democratization of holiness. Something echoed, by the way, earlier in the Torah, where the Torah says, you shall be, quote, a kingdom of priests and a holy people. Now, Korach, by the way, was referring, when he spoke about that, to not only those quotes, but an incident that had happened before. Moses says to God, look, God, I need a little bit of help. I can't be the one to only get prophecy. So God says, great. There are going to be 70 elders that you're going to find. Bring them to me, and I'll give them prophecy so they can speak my word. This happens right before the Korach story. So Moses does that, but there's a glitch. You see, there are 12 tribes of Israel, and Moses has to choose 70 out of the 12 tribes of Israel. The problem is, the 12 tribes are divisible by 72, not by 70, which means there are these two guys left over when eventually they pick straws. And I'm not sure exactly why, but there's a glitch that happens, and the two guys who don't make it also get prophecy. And they're sitting in the camp apart from the 70 elders, and Eldad and Medad, that's their name, start prophesizing just like those elders do. And eventually Joshua, who's going to become the next leader after Moses dies, runs up to Moses and he says to Moses, Moses, you got to help me. You got to do something. These guys are prophesying, but you didn't pick them. And Moses says, would that we were all prophets. Would that every one of us has this gift. So it's interesting that now I've quoted 3 different times where it seems like this idea of we are all special, we are all holy, we all matter, we are equal, we are democratized actually becomes the key point. A kingdom of holy priests, you shall be holy, and would that we were all holy. So what exactly is going on with Korach? The answer ultimately is that Judaism is very careful about this radical evenness. And it understands that actually populism is a dangerous thing. That power structures need to be in place, leaders need to matter. Checks and balances need to be there for a society to work. And by the way, the Bible isn't the only one to say this. If you've ever read the end of Plato's Republic, Plato is scared to death of democracy. Because for him, democracy always ends up leading to tyranny. If everyone's equal, everyone's going to want a seat at the table. But the problem is that someone is going to want the seat more. And without clear power structures, without those checks and balances, someone will inevitably grab the reins of power and they will raise themselves above the other. Plato believes all democracies end ultimately in tyranny. By the way, that's the same thing in the fear of our founding fathers. If you read the Federalist Papers, Hamilton and his cadre are scared to death about what is going to happen if America, quote, is a true democracy. The whole reason, by the way, why we have the systems in place that we do, especially the Electoral College, is because they understand that sometimes populism can be a really scary thing. If enough people get led in the same direction, they can end up making some pretty scary decisions and some pretty bad mistakes. And so it puts in fail-safes to make sure that that will not happen, which is why the American system is engineered in the cockamamie way that it is. I'm reminded, by the way, though I think he was talking about capitalism, of Winston Churchill, who said, it's the worst one except for all the others. But I bring up this because there is this tension in the tradition about the need to understand that all of us are holy. All of us are created in the image of God. All of us matter. All of us have a voice. And at the same time, not relying so heavily on that we don't sometimes just give leaders the credit that we need to give them. And there is such a deep distrust of power structures in this society. But power structures are important and they are good. And if they are dissolved, ultimately, tyranny does indeed follow. I worry about the climate that we live in today because I worry that we got a bunch of Korachs running around who so distrust the leaders that are here, that so distrust leadership in general, that they're not willing to look and to try to say, how can we improve the structures that we are in? Instead, what they want to do is dissolve them, destroy them, tear them down, and then end up in a place where all that is left is from some charismatic leader to arise and to say, I am the answer, a Korach of this generation. We have to be careful about that. And we have to walk that line between those two. I don't know what the answer is and how to do it. But what I do know is that despite the imperfections of our American system, I believe in the checks and balances that exist. I believe in the bureaucracy. Sometimes, by the way, bureaucracy can be good because by slowing things down, it keeps people from being reactive. When did the Jews make the biggest mistake? It's when Moses was up on top of that mountain getting the 10 commandments from God. He said he'd be down 40 days later, and 40 days and 6 minutes later, Moses still wasn't down. And what did the people do who were radically equal in that moment? They got together and they built an idol. the golden calf, which became the kind of sin of the Jewish people. If only Moses was there. If only they believed in him. If only they waited for him. And so I want to challenge each of us to try to understand where we are in walking that line. Every one of us matters. Every one of us is holy. And on the other hand, none of us are so important that we can't overlook the structures that are in place that make society work and run. Shabbat Shalom. We're on page 282 as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach
Ladon
ladon
hakol,
hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz vayom hahu. Vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who we have loved and who we've lost. As I recite your loved one's name, I'll invite you to rise, honoring their memory. This Shabbat, we recall the following individuals: Ann Ackerman, Jerome Applebaum, Thelma Bedden, Samuel Berger, Eleanor Bernstein, Harriet Billis, Gedalia Convisar, Marjorie Davis, Meyer Ezrin, Serene Funk, Marcia Gallagher, Joel Goldberg, Solomon Goldfarb, Lawrence Gutentag, Linda Hindman, Rebecca Kahn, Oscar Kettler, Sylvia Lang, Milton Lee, Julius Maltonfort, Albert Mandelkern, Libby Mankis, Molly Miller, Samuel Mintz, Jeffrey Newman, Sidney Noodleman, Anna O'Donnell, Bennett Owens, Zelig Rappaport, David Shakin, Fanny Shapiro, Herbert Shedlin, Marlene Strayer, Gerald Udell, Deborah Kahaner, Weidelbaum, and Samuel Zimmern. And those who are in their Shiva and Shloshim periods of mourning: Jessie Marcus, mother of Jane Marcus, Sue Moskowitz, sister-in-law of Seal Zeisel, Joel Lustberg, father of Will Lustberg, and Jerry Klein, uncle of Robin Slutsky. In addition, I'll invite you to rise and share the names of anyone who you are within your one-year period of mourning for, or who you may be reciting Kaddish for, who may not have been on this list. We rise together, page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yamad divrach yirutzei v'yamlech malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayet l'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah m'varach le'olam omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah barichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, tamiram b'yama b'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'arko Yisrael b'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'bramav, hu ya'aseh shalom.
Aleinu
Aleinu
Kol
Kol
Yisrael.
Yisrael.
Bimru.
Bimru. Amen.
Please be seated. So before we finish, just a few announcements. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we're going to have our Shabbat morning service. That, of course, is following Torah study at 8:30. And we are going to welcome to the Bima Evan, who will become a bar mitzvah. And we want to say congratulations to him and to his family.
There's chanting circle tomorrow morning also.
Yes, and chanting circle as well at 9 a.m. So we are in the midst of what is known as the Israeli high holidays. And so really, we had Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance, but on Monday and Tuesday, we have two really important programs that I hope you can join us for. Monday is Yom HaZikaron, Israeli Remembrance Day, Memorial Day, where we're going to really hold the pain that we're in right now, and that's going to be hosted, though we're co-sponsoring it, at B'nai Keshet. And then the community is coming to us for Yom HaAtzmaut, for Israel Independence Day, which is going to be on Tuesday at 5:30. We're going to have dinner with some kind of activities outside, and then we're going to come in here at 7 o'clock for a band called Zion 80, really wonderful band, great music, and a way with Israeli food in the Israeli community to celebrate Israel. I sent an email out to the community just the other day talking about how it is that even in this climate we can still celebrate. And I truly believe we need to bifurcate our emotions. We will have a day of sadness on Monday, and we will have a day of joy on Tuesday. And Israel's turning 76. It is a miracle, and I love it, even despite all the complexity. And so there can be a day for you to show that, as well as a day to hold all of the emotions that you're feeling, which is the day before. In the works, stay tuned for more information. On the 22nd, around noon, we are going to hopefully get a panel of college students together who are now home from college to talk about the climate on their college campus. Rather than watch CNN, we'll hear directly from our students and just find out what did they see. And that is going to be hosted by Bud, who's sitting in the back right now. So with that, we've got lots of other great things going on. Our Pride Shabbat is on the 5th. Next week, on Friday night, is our Confirmation Shabbat. It's always a highlight of the year. Show up and really honor the 21 10th graders who have made it all the way through and really studied all year, and we're going to celebrate them and learn from them. They will be our teachers for that night. So with that, we are going to conclude, if we turn our attention here. Olam chesed yibaneh, the world is built with love. Olam chesed yibaneh,
Yananai, yananai, yananai.
Olam chesed yibaneh,
Yananai, yananai, yananai.
Olam chesed yibaneh, Yananai, Olam chesed yibaneh, Yananai, I will build this world from love. Yananai, you will build this world from love. Yananai, if we build this world from love. Yananai, then God will build this world from love. Yananai, Olam chesed, clap your hands. Olam chesed yibaneh, Yananai, Olam chesed yibaneh, Yananai, Olam chesed yibaneh, Yananai, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Matt.